know we wanted that home opener, right? Our fans brought some good juice today, right? We gave them a little something to cheer about, and they brought the juice, right? But this is just one right here. We got a long way to go. So we're going to do the same routine, right? We're going the same routine. Win or lose, we got the same routine. We got to get a lot better, right? But today was a great home opener win. Way to go. Let's go.
Let's keep getting better. 1-0. That's the motto every week. 1-0 on 3. 1, 2, 3. 1-0.
Speaking of bringing the juice, well, we've got the man who gave that little post-game locker room speech and is the man who's running a team that looks very good despite the loss of a quarterback right before the start of the season. Ladies and gentlemen, let's introduce our guy, Frank Reich.
Oh, yeah!
Indianapolis Colts.
Coach, I like that. I like
Good
that.
Morning
Appreciate.
Football. Yeah.
I appreciate that. I
it.
appreciate that little energy right there.
We like having the energy. You bring the energy every Sunday, and your guys really brought it this past weekend. A gutsy win against the Falcons. 2-1 right now. Tell us about the character in that locker room that you were just speaking with right there in Indianapolis.
I'll tell you what, that's really what it's all about for us. When Chris Ballard and I started talking about this team, we wanted guys that had that inner fortitude, that mental toughness, and it's showing. Like you said, Peter, we had a surprise announcement at the beginning of the year, but no one flinched, and that's because of the character of our guys in the locker room.
Hey, Coach, before I get to my question, I have to say, Boomer Esiason has in his contract that he has to talk about you every time that he's on cameras. I have to make sure that I said hi to you from Boomer. Now, from one confident quarterback to another, Brissett. No other quarterback in the league had bigger shoes to fill. What is it about Brissett's game that you described it as unreal and that you can't play quarterback much better than the way he did?
He did, and it wasn't a surprise because that's the way he practices. And he had a particularly good week of practice last week. He was in the zone. When we sat down Saturday morning just to talk about our final mindset going into the game, I said to Jacoby, I said, man, you have been in the zone all week. He was throwing the ball. He always throws it great, but particularly threw it great last week. Mentally was dialed in, and it's just translating what he's doing on the practice field and what we're doing as a team, keeping an edge, getting better every day, translated Sunday.
Coach, can I just take a second to tell you, it is so awesome that you're on the show. I have watched you my entire life. I loved you as a player. I love you as a coach. We are so fired up to have you on the show. I mean it.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the show. We don't get to watch a ton, but I like the energy you guys bring, and we appreciate the support here in Indianapolis.
We always bring it, and so do you. A week ago, though, you had an interesting coaching moment. It looked like the living legend on your team, Vinatieri, was having problems. He might even walk away from the game. What do you do as a guy who's been through everything, as a player and a coach? What do you say to a 24-year veteran like Vinatieri who's going through something like that?
You trust them. You trust your guys. And that's we talk about the foundation of what we have going on here. It's trust. And that means trusting our guys, and we believe. And we have a lot of belief and conviction in each other. And, the good news is it's easy to have belief and conviction about the person and the player that Vinatieri is. This guy, as a kicker, you would have to talk about this guy as one of the mentally toughest players to ever play the game. That's what it takes to do what he's done. And so we had no doubt that he would work his way through the little two-game thing that happened, and he certainly responded on Sunday.
If I were to make a list, Coach, of the reasons why you're so successful as a player, your accomplishments, all of that, maybe like a resume on LinkedIn, which you, of course, don't need. Somewhere near the top, I think I would put what you've been able to get out of Eric Ebron. Somebody who was doubted, faced a lot of adversity, comes and hangs out with you guys in Indianapolis and breaks out last year with 13 touchdowns. And after Sunday's game, he called your play calling funky. I thought it was pretty wild that he says that. He said that you never question it, you just go and trust Frank. So what do you think he meant by funky play calling, and what does it mean to have your players trust sort of
well we like to yeah, we talk about having an edge at practice, but that includes keeping an edge and how we keep the opponent off balance. But the whole key to the play calling thing is players. They have to execute the play. They have to believe in what you're doing. And we have players like Eric Ebron who know how to make big plays, who you can put the game in their hands, at crunch time. Eric has been a big play machine, and he and Jacoby have great chemistry. That has been very natural. So, like, even in the fourth quarter of that game, you put the game in Jacoby's hand. Give him the run pass checks. Don't be afraid to throw it in a 4-minute drive. Let those guys make big plays. That's what we believe.
Coach, we've got the Raiders this weekend. You guys are feeling yourselves, feeling pretty good. One note, and we'd be remiss not to ask, T.Y. Hilton left that game. How do you monitor T.Y.'s status throughout the week? And then really looking forward, how do you fill in that void if he's not on the field?
Yeah, well, obviously T.Y. is just an unbelievable player. Every week I marvel that this guy, to me, is the best receiver in the game. And so we'll just have to monitor it day by day. The thing is, we saw last year with T.Y., he was able to play well without practicing a whole lot. But, since the injury was just re-aggravated, we're going to have to wait to see how it responds in the next couple days, and we'll take it day by day.
All right, Coach. Hey, listen, we appreciate you so much, man. Thank you for taking the time and having fun with us here on the show.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
That's a legend right there.
Frank Reich.
Frank Reich. Unbelievable. High school, college, everything pro is the best. That's very cool. Love Frank.
Colts schedule, by the way.
What do you got?
It's kind of favorable. The Colts can go on a little run right now. I'm not trying to say. If you look at their list of teams that are coming up ahead, they're winnable games. The Colts might go on a bit of a run right now.
He
All right,
said
Peter.
T.Y. Hilton is the best wide receiver in the game. Is he on toe track swag this week before his injury?
He might be, okay. He got in the end zone, but we want to see him back on the field healthy, though. Trakes, you never left that bandwagon of the Colts.
Jacoby Brissett's got some juice, guys.
Back to